Well, hey, I'm Brian Lord, Senior Vice President here at Premier Speakers Bureau, and I'm excited to have on with us Bob Goff, who's the author of Love Does. He's an extremely successful lawyer, the consul for Uganda to the U.S., a very cool guy. So, Bob, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, one of the things you talk about, your book is Love Does, and you talk a lot about, how do you bring love to the workplace? How do you do that?
Yeah, I think part of it is a combination of being authentic about who you are, and then seeing people for who they're turning into. I think that's the key for me. I run across people. I'm a lawyer. I deal with angsty people for a living. But instead of figuring out why I'm right all the time, and because I'm a lawyer, I always think I'm right, I'm just trying to think, how can I be a little bit more humble with them? And I do that by seeing who they're turning into. And if there's this person, I say, I can wonder who they're becoming. And there's something that happens when you start seeing people, not for who they are right now, but for who they're turning into. And it starts kind of changing us. You end up actually being more loving to them. I had a sister, and we used to measure ourselves against the door jamb in the house, and we'd see, I was taller than her, but when you look at the mark, she was always taller than me. And I'm like, what's the deal? And I wasn't smart enough to figure out she's on her tiptoes, right? So when I meet somebody that's kind of a little difficult to get along to, I just think, there's a person that's just trying to be a quarter of an inch more right than everybody else. And I just look down at their feet. I think it must be exhausting being on your toes like that. So that's that idea of seeing people and seeing through the angstiness.
Now, one of the things you also talked about is ambition. And you were talking kind of about being ambitious in the right way. What do you think about that? What is ambition in the right way?
Yeah, it would be, I spent my whole life trying cases and all that and doing things that worked. But I've got a new metric. I'm saying what's going to last in that. And it's starting to change. I've started with the things I'm certain about, right? I take your family, I'm positive about that. What's going to last in their lives? And I start doing things with my wife and my kids, including them in ways that really enrich me so that when I get into the work environment, I'm doing stuff that lasts. And there's a confidence in that. And when somebody does something that's just kind of out there, I'm like, you don't have to swing at that pitch because you're so busy doing other stuff that lasts. And then when failures happen, I just don't get distracted. I don't let my failures define me, right? That's just Tuesday. If something didn't work out, I'd be like, all right, but there'll be another day, right? And I don't let my successes define me either. We're not defined by our success. We're not defined by our failure. We're defined by the way that we love people. That's how we do things that last, right? I think people are known for their opinions, but they're remembered for their love. And I think that's starting to permeate more and more into my life. What do you want to be remembered for? I don't want to be the guy that was loving, that just said, come on. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, for you event planners watching this, if you check on the link below this video, you can learn more about Bob and his presentations, and also make sure to subscribe to this channel for more interviews. So Bob, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
All right.